Hello there and welcome to a special Elite FPL community comment. Fucking hell, what a terrible intro that is. Welcome everybody to this special Elite FPL video talking about your comments, because the members don't write comments anymore, so fuck them. Let's just go with the random public that decide to write comments instead, and we'll start off with one that was held for review. It's nothing bad. Someone called GRJ55. I have to laugh at the people removing Haaland or having removed Haaland. People look at fixtures or FDR and think games are hard for Man City. People pick Saka/Bowen and other mids to try and make up for the best striker in the league. Fucking madness. As for the people whining about the Man City goals being lucky, he could have scored 5. Which is true. When myself, Jason and Matt were watching the game, there were moments in which it's like, again, this sign from God where God's gone, last season I allowed you to score anything. Any opportunity you had to score a goal, you scored. This season, it's, I don't know, just like chances that he was putting away last year, he's not doing this year. It's really, really weird. And as someone who captained him on Sunday, or for Sunday, watching Onana pull out some incredible saves, denying, I can remember 2 specifically, which Onana pulled off some extraordinary moments of magic which stopped Haaland from scoring. But if it ended up like Man City winning 4 or 5-0, which, by the way, I only just discovered yesterday, that Foden scored. I thought it was Jack Grealish that actually scored the other day, and it wasn't. It was actually, obviously, it was Phil Foden. But yeah, going on from yesterday's video, the walk in the, I was going to put in the title, walk in the crappy park. But FPL Matty went out saying, I can't see why people want to go to these big content creator streams just so they can just go copy their teams, because you will never get your question answered, because there's that many questions in the chat where in FPL every question gets answered. Like I said, you are elite compared to all the others. I understand why people go to the big content creators, and again, I reiterate this point. I think this, in fact, Tyler, if you're watching, that should be on the new Snakes and Ladders board game. I reiterate this point. I'm not just talking about FPL. You take any giant content creator, and people will flock to them more than they will the independent stuff. So let's just take Mark Goldbridge as an example. Let's take Expressions as an example, AFTV, and so on and so forth. People go to it because it's, number one, a very professional setup. It's accommodating for everybody. The information / knowledge that they're giving to their audience is very, very useful and enlightens the individuals that are listening. And it's the same in the world of fitness. What the world of fitness does is they use these very, very, very clean YouTube clickbait thumbnails where everything's absolutely perfect, but then when you watch the video, you're like, oh, okay. But all the videos are perfectly clean, they're edited to perfection. And I reiterate this point, any form of social media is aimed at children. You've got to remember this. It's all aimed at children. if children can consume what you're putting out there, it's going to be very, very popular. Whereas if it's stuff like this, for example, it's not easy for kids to consume. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that children should be watching this, but that's what it's all marketed to. And all these ginormous channels are easily able to be consumed by kids. Once you've done that, you've won the market. And certainly, you know, I don't have a issue with anybody consuming large content. But as I replied back to Matt, what I find bizarre is an individual saying, who is a regular, and I know they're a regular watcher of the channel, is, oh yeah, I just tuned into yours instead of Andy's. Sorry, I was watching Andy's stream, but then chose to jump on yours because I was bored with Andy's stream. And I just think, but every week you get the same with the large content creators. It's exactly the same. You tune in, you listen to their interesting point of view. There's no denying it. There's an interesting point of view that they have. And then it's, let's just answer questions. Because whoever has just decided to super chat me, and then it just goes off this spiral of an individual that's actually having a coherent conversation with the audience about what they think about Man United, Man City, whatever. And then it's, oh, so-and-so's a super chatting me. Shall I bring in Simicast or shall I bring in Gabrielle? And and from that point, all it is about answering questions. And yeah, for an hour and whatever length of time these people go on for, it's just the same format. Yes, there are, quite literally, as the numbers suggest, thousands of people that watch this stuff. But these are all people that, again, that are just wanting to be told what to do. And, you know, that I will address a comment above in a minute, but like I say, with stuff like this, clearly people aren't enjoying it for some weird reason, even though it's exactly the same content that we've been doing for years. Slight different change of format, because we hadn't really normally addressed people's comments before. Usually that was members only, but because the members have just decided, no, we're not commenting anymore, which I still don't understand. But like I said, the numbers are in front of me. And because we live in this day and age where the numbers are literally in front of you, which says, this is the exact, not the exact figures, but these are the amount of comments for this video. These are the amount of views. These are the amount of subscribers and everything. It's in your face. So, but we'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, certainly, as I said, a lot of these large channels are just, like I said, a lot of these channels are essentially across, aimed at, like I said, children, going over and over and over it. You've got John Jack here saying, I'm 600... I don't understand that comment. Sorry, John. It just literally says, I'm 6'4" and 93k. 31 points off top of mini league at 7k. Just goes to show how bunched up we all are. Funny season so far, captain's count. What does that mean? Jesus Christ. Andy Chatton's FPL. The bad thing about FPL to me is that there's literally nothing enjoyable to take from it when things are going bad. At least in other hobbies like sport or gaming, you can enjoy it when you're losing. I reiterate this point. I think a lot of hobbies that we participate in is down to us, the individual, physically participating in that particular, as you put it, sport or gaming or whatever. Fantasy football is completely out of your hands. And unless you are quite literally in control of what those individuals are doing, there's nothing you can do, and you're literally relying on, I don't know, Mo Salah or Jota or Diaz or Nunez or Gakpo, Sabitzer, whoever. turning up and performing because you're basing it on the fact that they've got a really good fixture, the fact that they've got really good data, the fact that they've got their form at the moment's really good, the fact that their XG is high, the fact that their XA is high, and then you look at if you really delve deeply, you then look at the team that they're playing, you go, bloody hell, they concede a lot on the left hand side, the right hand side, through the middle, and all these factors come into play, and then it comes to it, we got 2 points. In a 5-0 win, in a 3-0 win, in a 6-1 victory, in a 2-0 win, he got 1 point because he got a yellow card for taking out the Declan Rice or whatever. He got a yellow card because when whoever scored, he decides to then take his shirt off for no reason. You literally cannot account for any of this, whereas in computer gaming, for example, it's down to your choice whether or not you threw the grenade, or you decided while you're sitting there, you decide to pop your head up and then you get shot. Whatever. It's actually down to physically you. It's the same. I mean, I've never played chess before, but it's like in chess, it's down to you what moves you make. You both start on equal terms, and it's down to your moves, how that person counters it and everything like this. In fantasy football, you physically cannot change anything, or you physically cannot do anything with the players. A man Dylan is saying he only plays FPL because of Elite FPL. Come on, that can't be true. That can't be true, a man Dylan. You've been playing it for years. It's got nothing to do with Elite FPL. Scotland Investor saying my FPL is in the gutter. I even took a -12 just for the hell of it to switch things up and avoid the price fall on Udogie and James Ward-Prowse. Well, surprise, surprise, Udogie hasn't gone down in price. James Ward-Prowse did. I brought in Maguire and McTominay because they're both dirt cheap and I needed to in order to get Watkins in. Season's over. However, my Sky team is doing really well and strategy is working so far. So I've still got 30 transfers and happy with my current team. I did sell Szoboszlai, then he Horde, but thankfully got Diaby in. Okay, and I'm no worse off. You seem to be doing well in both, mate. Enjoyed the vid. I'm not doing well in FPL. Fucking hell, I'm doing terribly in FPL. Sky, I'm doing exceptionally well. Like, for a first season, and considering, and again, I hold my hands up, I was an absolute fool for not following through with my plan of just bringing in Saliba for Poro, and then just captain Saliba. That's literally all I had to do, and I'd still be top of the Burnley League, and I'd be, at a random guess, 700th in Sky, if not higher, if I'd have just done that move, but I didn't. It's the same with, I was supposed to on Sunday do Darwin in for Maddison. That's what I was supposed to do. So I would have had Saliba captain, and I also would have had Darwin in as well for Maddison, and then my team would have been set for the next X amount of, like, it was like 3 or 4 weeks. I stupidly didn't do it, and I'm angry with myself that I didn't do it, because I had it in my book. It's there, right there. It was all planned out, and I, for whatever reason, I just thought I'd be clever, and I thought, well, I think that Colwell's got a really good chance of keeping a clean sheet against Brentford, which, to be fair, by half time, I'm thinking, do you know what, Brentford sound absolutely awful here. It's just any matter of time before Chelsea come out of this game winning 1 or 2-0. And it's the complete opposite. It's 2-0 to fucking Brentford. And I just thought, I don't need to get rid of Johnston because his fixtures are really, really good. Because I was going to be bringing in Raya for Johnston as well, potentially. But I thought, no, don't need to do it. So that's why I thought Saliba in. But like I said, I just thought, I think Colwill and Saliba are just going to cancel each other out. So I'm just going to go, do you know what, fuck it. Let's just continue with the Trippier captaincy. And yeah, it completely backfired, basically. For anybody that doesn't know, Trippier, and even in Sky, got 0 points. Incredibly. Don Dewsbury saying, a decent rank, Stevo, not too shabby. I'm 311k myself and still have my wild card to use if I feel the need. I'm enjoying the season so far. I like that there's varied teams and options. It makes watching the football on the weekends much more enjoyable for the neutral matches. Again, I mean, if you were to look at the spread of points in FPL at the moment, like the top performing players, it is, I mean, I'm going to fuck's sake, I hate this logging into FPL these days, but it's not, it's pretty much within reason as expected, and I can't even log into FPL. What a load of bollocks this is. Here we are. So the top performing players, so Vicario for Tottenham, a player which I rated highly but I was shat on. He's fucking shit. What the fuck do you have him in your team for? You're a fucking idiot. He's fucking shit. Now he's like the greatest goalkeeper on the planet. The other goalkeepers, Leno for Fulham, Alisson, Johnston and Sanchez and Nick Pope. So they're like your top six. Well, Vicario plays for the best team in the league at the moment. Leno is just making save after save in a Fulham team which, you know, defensively are within reason pretty solid, within reason. Alisson is now playing in a team which don't concede goals. Johnston, again, like Fulham, is in a team who defensively are within reason solid enough, and he makes lots of saves. And then you've got Chelsea Sanchez, who plays for Chelsea, and then Nick Pope, of course, plays for Newcastle, who again is a team that does very, very well defensively. And then when you look at the Jesus Christ, this fucking thing is so shit. Right then, defenders. Trippier top. I mean, of all these players here, I would say Anderson's the one which you're like, what? How's he second and only 5 points behind Trippier? Well, the answer is because of the goals he scored. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist across this season with 2 double-digit hauls. But if you take him out of the equation, Ben White, Arsenal, great team, Romero, Tottenham, Saliba, Matty Cash, an attacking right wing back, Tottenham's Van der Ven, you got then Kyle Walker, Pedro Porro. I'd argue most teams have these individuals in their sides. Then look at the midfielders, and all I want to do is press down and it won't even fucking work. So Salah, Son, Mbeumo, you could argue, well, actually, you know what? Mbeumo, a player who seems to step up when Tony's out. Seems to be proving it now. You got Saka, Maddison, Bowen, Diaby. And the points are really, really close between Mbeumo all the way down to, say, Douglas Luiz. It's like spread by, 10 points. And then there's Neto, Jensen of Brentford. I wonder why he's there for. 3 goals, 2 assists. He's like the anomaly, but a lot of these players, again, most people are looking at. And then the forwards, of course. I mean, Haaland, Watkins, Alvarez, and Nketiah is the odd one out there. That's the anomaly. But then you've got Darwin. Visa is another anomaly. But then forget Isaac, Wilson. Wilson's a really good shout to be bringing in. And then Solanke. It's really, again, the top 3 forwards you'd expect to be up there anyway. And again, it's 20 points difference between these two. But there's between Alvarez and Haaland. But there's only 7 points between Watkins and Haaland. So there is, again, you got your core players to choose from. In fact, for me, I have got a high number of those players that are in the top 5/6 of those particular position. So I've got Nketiah, Alvarez and Haaland in my team, who are in the top 4 of the strikers. Then when it comes to the midfield, I have got, so Son, yep, got him. Salah, got him. Saka, I will be having him. Maddison, yep. Bowen, nope. Diaby, no. Douglas Luiz, yes. And then the next one is Matoma, who I expect to be going up the ranks quite quickly. And then when it comes to the defenders, Trippier, yep, there he is. I've got none of the Tottenham guys other than Udogie. And then Tsimikas, who has only played twice this season. Matty Cash is there. So I've actually got the players which are in the top echelons, as you want to call it, in the game. But again, it's all about, like people make the point about the combinations, is why people like JR came on the other day and spoke about the fact that his plan will be, to be benching this player and that player, and Jason made quite rightly so, yeah, but you're benching players which are, individuals that regularly bring in points and stuff, but these people are doing this because their fixtures aren't as good. So Saka away at Newcastle is just such a terrible fixture. It's terrible. So they have every right to be benching these particular individuals. But yeah, but the point being is, overall, I do get Dom's point. Michael Swelling saying I enjoyed the Heathrow video. Yeah, I was going to do it yesterday, but the weather looked like it was going to be terrible. And then my hairdresser decides to tell me to come to get my hair cut at 12:30. And then I'm thinking, by the time that's finished, then I leave to go to Heathrow and stuff. And then by the time I want to come back, it's going to be the closing of schools. And around this where I live, it's just horrific for schools. So I don't want to be coming back home when it's closing of schools. It's going to take forever to get back home, and the buses are going to be full and everything. Like, forget it. So yeah, I was going to do another one up there yesterday, but like I said, I didn't. But I will be doing more of them. I do enjoy going up there and just chatting absolute crap. Christos saying here, or Christianos, that's Cal, isn't it? I know it is. I'm 873k, was at 420k. There's some fine mileage. I'm resorting to some risks at this point to make it more entertaining. With it being a 2-horse race in the main league, it's game week 10. You don't need to be taking risks at game week 10. Don't worry about it. Either play safe and end on same points as everyone else, which is fair enough, but at least you're keeping up pace. It's my first season, so I'm not at risk averse as I should be. Again, you don't need to be taking risks. I know a lot of current FPL players simply want quick recommendations and such. Tell them what to think and give them dopamine and they're happy. Yeah. Like I say, with this game, you've just got to, don't get me wrong, even within our own mini leagues, like I look at it and go, oh my fucking god, I'm X amount of points away from this particular player. So like, for instance, in the moderator league, as a simple example, which is kind of like a gauge, I am 35 points off top spot. As an example, and I'm 13 points behind Blonde. So Harbour Boy is 137k, and he's 30 odd points ahead of me. And then within that, I'm on exactly the same points as Brew. I'm 6 points behind Dan. And, Blonde and Paulie are on exactly the same point. So again, I'm 13 points behind. And then Gabriel de Rob, I'm 4 points ahead. I'm then 5 points ahead of Armand Dillon. And then there's a bit of a gap between me and Jason, where it's 29 points. and then it just gets bigger and just slightly bigger and bigger. But then you look at, for instance, the Torbay Elite League that I'm in, and it's covered by 6 points. You know, I'm in 5th spot, as I said yesterday, on exactly the same points as Darren Monday. 1 point behind Si, 3 points behind Gary, and 6 points behind Dan. And Dan is 687k. And then I'm only 5 points clear of someone called Doug Francis. And then there's Sahil, who I used to work with. I'm only 8 points ahead of him. You look at like the Elite FPL YouTube League as an example. You've got, you know, Vijay, who is on 702 points, 3,000th in the world. You know, I'm miles behind him. I'm nearly 100 points, just less than 100 points behind him. And then in the Members League, you've got Tyler, who is he's 4,500th in the world. And again, he's on 701 points. 701 points. What's Vijay on? 703. Fucking hell. So there's 1,000 places separating Vijay and Tyler, and there's literally 1 point in it. Tyler's on 701, Vijay's on 702. It's 1,000 points 1,000 place difference. You look at like the Rivals League as an example. Okay, Vijay still top 702, but soon these individuals will start cocking up. I mean, Tyler has written an essay in a minute, but he said that he was very lucky with Mbuemo as an example. He came off the fucking bench, would you believe? I genuinely I just couldn't believe it when I heard it. Yeah, because Gabriel didn't play and Mbuemo came off the bench for him. So he was playing a 4-4-2 with Gabriel, Cash, Trippier and Zuma, with Salah, Gordon, Diaby and Maddison as the midfield four, with Haaland and Watkins up top. Gabriel didn't come on, and Mbuemo comes on for 13 points. It's just those tiny little margins which has allowed that to happen. And he knows he's lucky. He knows it. In fact, he says here, if I read this essay, I think that I might have struggled in I might struggle in FPL in the coming weeks. The Mbuemo off the bench was fortunate. I think I kept him because I got him in Gameweek 5 and did not get a single return for him. So I stubbornly kept. I was sitting in the work changing room when I saw Brentford result, and I was a little gutted to see he got a goal assist, of course, because you had Gabriel playing. Then I watched the Arsenal-Sheffield United highlights on the bus and noticed no Gabriel, so I checked the lineups to make sure he didn't come on. I know that feeling, come on. And then my FPL seemed to see if I kept Mbuemo as first bench. So that was a swing of the motions. Yeah, that is that feeling of, it's like when I benched Matty Cash and he came on for me. I can't remember who was the sub now, but he came on for me, and I remember finding out, I mean, what were the circumstances for that again? I'm gonna have to, was that game week 4? Something like that, game week 4, where Matty Cash got a ridiculous scoreline. Where are we here? It must have been game week 4, roughly. No, it wasn't game week 4 or game week 5 then. No, it wasn't game week 5 either, so it must have been game week 2 then. Or game week 3. Game week 3. So it was Akanji. Akanji was playing for me. They had Sheffield United away. And he didn't come on. We didn't play, whatever, same difference. And Matty Cash came on for him. Oh, God, yeah. And I must have been... Because I know it was the day we went AEW. and I didn't want to check any football results at all. And then I had to go on my phone, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Seeing as I have to go on my phone, I'll just check on live score. And it was like the 60th, 70th minute. And I just went to Dale, and I was like, Dale, you're not going to believe this. Matty Cash has got 2 goals in what was it again he did? 2 goals. And I'm like, but did I even play him? And then I looked on my team, and I saw like it was a Kanji had been benched or whatever. I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I was just like, you lucky bastard. Yeah, so what was going through Tyler's mind at the time, like, please tell me I put him as first bench. You are right about the price changes, though. It makes the game annoying to play, because all I want to do is make a transfer on the day of the deadline, but sometimes I have to do it early, which often backfires. And the players end up not moving in price. For example, getting rid of Saka earlier this season against Bournemouth so I could afford Salah. I reiterate this, but I mean, you take this today as an example of price changes. Who went up in price? I'll just go on Discord, because Hardboy updates it. Once it loads up, so on Discord, go to the general chat. And yeah, Diaby, Darwin and Tsimikas. All 3 of them have gone up in price. Yeah, when you look at the... Jesus Christ, just work! When you look at the top transfers in this game week, Nketiah's number 1, nothing. Mbuemo's second, nothing. Douglas Luiz, he went up in price by 0.1. Son hasn't changed. Anderson hasn't changed. Hwang hasn't changed. Here we go, here's Tsimikas. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7th on the list. He's gone up in price. Watkins hasn't changed. Darwin. Maddison hasn't changed. Salah. Diaby. So why hasn't the players above Tsimikas changed in price, apart from Douglas Luiz? Why hasn't Nketiah changed in Mbuemo, Son, Anderson, etc.? And obviously it comes down to all these mathematical equations in the sense of who are people taken out and everything. But if you look at it here, the people taking players out are Isaac, Udogie, Odegaard, Neto, Estupinan, Matoma, Ward-Prowse, Botman, Sterling, Trippier, Alvarez, Bowen. When do we actually get to see one of the price rise players which it could counteract? Well, I'll tell you where it is. It's all the way down here in Watkins. He's had 46,000 people sell him. And Mbuemo isn't even in the top 20 of players being sold, and yet he still hasn't gone up in price. It's the same in Nketiah. Now, someone's going to say, yeah, but it's wild cards and everything. Yeah, I get that, but there ain't going to be that many people playing wild cards, and even if they are and stuff, like, how many people are actually bringing in Nketiah on their wild card teams and everything? It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? I would have thought by now Nketiah would have had at least 0.1 of the price rise by now. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't do my transfers because, well, I did do them because of price changes, but I was going to pretty much be doing those players anyway. But according to the FPL statistics site, he's about 4% away Nketiah of going up. The same with Mbuemo. Mbuemo's 8% before he goes up in price. But prior to that, you've got Johnston, Salah and Torres, who are more likely to go up before these two. It just makes no sense. And yet I've just talked about the players that have been brought in and everything. And Torres, Salah, Johnston aren't even in it. So, yeah, it's... This game, I think, when it comes to price changing, is completely corrupt. And I do think that... I personally think that if this game wants to be doing price changes, I think it needs to be a lot more not even transparent, it just needs to show us who's going up in price. So the game just releases a tweet, or on the actual website itself it says you've got 2 hours before the Simicast goes up in price. Do you want to be bringing him in before he goes up by 0.1? You've got the data there. Tell us the audience. Because that way people then will still be playing the game from a price change point of view. In fact, ironically, it would mean people would react even more, especially if they're wanting the likes of Simicast or whoever in. Whereas these statistic sites or whatever that are just predicting, they're so far off it that idiots like me really shouldn't be looking at it at all. And in a way, it's kind of ruining it for us. However, sterling has gone down in price, but by 0.1, so I wouldn't have been able to do the 3 transfers, which I did. And then you've got James Ward-Prowse, who did go down in price, but again, he was 6.3 or whatever, so he went down to 6.2, which is what my selling price was, so I didn't actually lose anything. But the point being, though, is that this sign from God it said that you can do these moves for the exact money, and I thought, to hell with it, that's exactly what I'm going to do, and that's exactly what I did, to bring in Matoma, Louise, and Ketia. He also just finally finishes saying, I enjoy watching these videos and the streams by you and Jason when I get back from work. And yes, and again, I may be a cynical bastard. A lot of it is done. I mean, if anybody listens to the Total Steither podcast, you'll understand the humour that I have. It's very Steve Merchant style, self-deprecating, and all this nonsense. But certainly, I can only go off my own thought processes as I'm spieling out in front of the microphone or a mobile phone or whatever about my thought processes at that precise moment. And like I say, I'm just open and honest with a lot of things, whether it is a detriment to me or not. But the reality is that, as going back to the beginning of the show when I said about numbers, it's there in front of you. If you're running a business and let's just use £1 million as an example. You're in profit with £1 million and you're just steadily going on like £1 million. You want to get more, but you're not getting any more, but you're not getting any less. And that is literally what it is with Elite FPL. It's just, you're just this steady ship. You're not going up, you're not going down. It's just there. But the last 2 weeks, we've been falling like a rock. It's just falling and falling and falling. In fact, I can even tell you that despite the fact is saying we've had all of 2 subscribers in 28 days. 2 fucking subscribers in 28 days. Well, to bore the shit out of you, in 28 days, this is just, okay, a lot of this is going to be members videos, so I won't really be able to do members videos per se. So let's just go on live, which is literally public. So in 28 days, right, we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then videos, excluding members, I mean 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We've done 22 either streams or videos in 28 days, and we've got 2 subscribers. Like, I don't even know how that maths works, and yet we're losing subscribers. I know this for fact because we were at 28 days ago, we were at 7,400 and I think it was 68, and I thought, oh, we may be able to breach that 70 mark. Since then, we're down to exactly 7,460 because people are just unsubscribed. And like I said, mathematically, I cannot see how that's even... Well, I do understand how it's possible. People are just literally not enjoying the content. But something's clearly happened in the last 2 weeks that I've personally noticed where, like I said, live viewers has just completely gone down. And I know for fact, like I said, whenever we do a live stream and then a larger content creator comes on, our audience goes down from, however, let's just say 100, right? It will go from 100 viewers down to 40. Well, those 100 viewers haven't just gone, can't be bothered to watch this now, let's just turn off. No, it's at the precise moment and individuals have gone live, so they've just gone, right, we're going. So 60 people just leave. And you're there like, thinking to yourself, is it something I've said? Have I, has me and Jason done something which has offended people or something? No, in fact, right now we're actually talking with a caller about their fucking team. We're actually talking about fantasy football here. When we literally had 100 live viewers watching, we were talking about AI and, AI. Now we're talking about FPL. Now we're gone now. What? And like I said, I put out that mental... What was it? What was that fucking shit called? Mental health and FPL. Subscribers went straight down. I did the video, like I said, from Heathrow. I saw that the subscriber numbers were just... Because, by the way, when I say I see the number at 68 and then it's dropped down to 60, that doesn't mean literally just 8 subscribers have gone. It's like 68 down to 66, back to 68, down to 64, up to 68, down to... It just fluctuates constantly, but it's literally doing 3 steps back and 1 step forward with subscribers. And yeah, so you do a video from Heathrow, and again the views are literally next to nothing. It just goes on and on and on. And it genuinely, like I said, it just gets to the point of where, like Dan said to me, like you put all this, you and Jason put all this work in regarding this. Now, yes, I admit that I do a lot of the content, but you do all this work, and yet, like Jason joked on a stream, we've done 8 hours worth of content and we've gained 0 subscribers. Like I said, it's mathematically almost impossible. Or all it just tells me is that quite literally the only people watching this are subscribed to you, and there is literally not a single brand new person watching. And even if it is a single brand new person watching, they're not enjoying it enough to go, yeah, I'll subscribe. Now, don't get me wrong, I personally will only subscribe to channels where they are putting out a quality of product which I'm like, oh, every time it comes on, I'm willing to watch, or I'd like to watch it. Maybe a lot of the people that are brand new to this, they come along, watch it once and go, no, not for me. Or they watch a second video or a second stream and they're like, nah, I don't want to subscribe to this. But I know that when it comes to a lot of fantasy football content, especially live stuff, or even videos, a lot get a hell of a lot of subscribers clicking through. And like I said, with us, nothing. Just absolute fuck all. And yeah, like I said, what Dan said, like, it is very difficult. I can imagine when you take something very, very seriously and you just get nothing back. Like I said, even members don't even comment on stuff anymore. Maybe they're sick to fucking death of videos like this. And you do take it to heart. There's no denying it, because I'm sat here out of my own time doing this. And yet, here's the irony, is that if me and Jason decided, you know what, I'm not going to do anything other than just 2 live streams a week, then we get complaints going, why aren't you doing members videos anymore? Why aren't you doing your normal videos from Heathrow or going around central London or sat in your room and chatting shit in front of a camera? You're like, you can't fucking win. So yeah, it's very tough. Anyway, on that note, as this sound of a drill's waffling on, maybe it's because I'm not saying hit the subscribe button, like button every fucking 30 seconds. Maybe that's the reason why. Because people are so thick Oh yeah, subscribe. Anyway, cheers for watching, and I'll see you whenever.